This is the kind of food that, you know, those table etiquettes you were taught as a child, they just flew out the window. Oh my God. Today we are making the viral dirty cabbage recipe. You guys, I am so super excited about this. First of all, because we harvested this cabbage from our garden. So it is screaming for this recipe. And this recipe checks so many boxes because first of all, cabbage is low carb and it's nutrient dense. Then we've got our meat, which is, I'm using some ground turkey, and I'm also using some ground beef, high protein. It is packed with flavor. You can see all of the seasonings that we're gonna put in this recipe today. I've got some onions, I've got some peppers. You guys, okay? Are you getting hungry yet? Yes, I know. And it is one pot. Perfect, okay, for the summer months. You guys, let's get into this recipe and I'm gonna show you just how quickly and easily it comes together. That's one other thing. My recipe today was inspired by the recipe that I saw from One Stop Chop. All right, before we go on over to the stove, we just need to prep our veggies. I've already, for the sake of time, I've already cut my peppers and my onions into little chunks, okay, like this. All right, make them even as possible so they cook evenly. And then we are going to take this hard core out of this cabbage. Okay. I'll bring you up close so you can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. All right, this is that core that I am referring to. You want to cut that out because that is tough. It was like a little wedge, okay? And that is gone. So now we're just left with the cabbage. I'm gonna do the same thing with the rest of these, and then we are gonna cut these in the size pieces that I want. All right, you guys, I'm gonna take this cabbage along with my other veggies over to the stove, and we are going to put together this dirty cabbage. Okay, we are going to start with our meat. Since I'm using a very lean cut of ground turkey sausage, I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil to my pan. Let that heat, and then we're going to add in the ground turkey sausage. Okay, add our meat to this pan. And we're going to cook it for approximately 2 minutes so it gets a nice sear on the one side. Then we're going to flip it and then cook it for another 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, let's go ahead and flip this over. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and slice this into the chunk-sized pieces that I want. And of course, this is optional. I just want the chunky bite in the finished cabbage recipe. Okay, let's go ahead and push this meat over to the side, and then we are going to proceed with cooking our ground beef. And I don't know if you noticed, but I slid this pan to the back so that this ground turkey sausage, okay, is not getting any of the heat. Okay, let's go ahead and chop up this meat. Okay, this is ready. Coming up next is our tomato paste. And we are not going to drain this fat. It just adds to the overall flavor of the recipe. Okay, so in goes the tomato paste. Combine this meat. And we're gonna let this cook down for a couple of minutes. Add our onions, peppers, and we're going to let this cook until these veggies are translucent. You guys, I wish you could smell just how amazing this fragrance is right about now. I'm telling you, if you could smell the foods that we are cooking, these videos would get a lot more views. I'm just saying. Let's go ahead and add in some minced garlic. I love garlic, so I'm going to go a little bit heavy in mine. If it weren't for the fact that this is a cabbage recipe, I would be done right here. This looks so good. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So with that, let's continue to add in the flavor. Let's add in some more seasoning. We have some onion powder. Because remember, the cabbage has no flavor. So we have to make sure we season this up really, really good. Garlic powder. I've got some Southwest Chipotle seasoning blend. I'm not going to go too heavy on this because my husband does not like too much spice in his food. Some paprika. Some Worcestershire sauce. Okay. And our broth. Okay, let's give this a mix. Then I'm going to cover it up and let this simmer down for a few minutes. And then we are going to add in our cabbage. All right, it is time for this cabbage. Now I'm going to overflow, or what it's going to look like I'm overflowing this pan. But as you already know, cabbage wilts down to a fraction of the size. Got this little chunk in here. Get that out. And you don't need to worry about adding any more liquid, I don't think, because, you know, cabbage is also filled with water. All right, we've been going now for about 15 minutes. That is looking really, really good. Very nice. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to taste it for some salt and maybe some pepper. And then continue to let this cook down until this cabbage gets to the tenderness that I want. Time to serve. All right, you guys, it's time to get real happy. Look at that. Whew. All right, you guys. I have been wanting to eat this before I even put the cabbage in. Lord, I thank you. Whew. This is the kind of food that, you know, those table etiquettes you were taught as a child, they just flew out the window. Oh my God. You guys have got to give this a try. One Stop Shop, thank you so much for, I don't know if this is what was your original recipe, but you definitely inspired it. So I always like to pay it forward, you guys. And that's where I was inspired by this recipe. Absolutely delicious. I just tweaked it a little bit because the sausage, I changed the sausage because I didn't have any of the type of sausage that he used. I used my own sausage. That's another thing. You can customize these things and make it your own kind of special. I mean, feel free to do exactly that, because guess who's eating it? It's you, your family, and your friends, right? So that's why you have to keep that in mind when you cook. But this thing right here, absolutely phenomenal. You can also pair this with some rice. I got some rice here in this bowl for my husband. He is going to love this, you guys. So again, make it, leave in the comments. Let me know that you did, how you love it. And I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in and to join me with this recipe. And remember, you guys, it is a great day and you continue to make it your own kind of special. And I will see you all right here real soon, and enjoy. That's good.